like 6 before I came in here. I was supposed to be kind of... Oh, I don't have my car crash.
No, you do, because it's always in the same place.
But no, see, it doesn't... It's not... The sound isn't up on it.
I probably... Wait, hang on. Try now.
Okay. See, I had 6 already before I drove in. There we go. Stink.
I don't know what this phone call is about, but I saw it up here, and I have to take it. I'd like to go to Diesel Dan the Trucker. What's up, dude?
Hey, man. I'm up here in Minnesota.
Sweet.
And I've listened to you guys since you got started on XM. I'm 55 years old. And
was this a biography?
All of you, both shows, Ronnie and Fez, Opie and Anthony. But anyhow, these goddamn women, these mothers. In 1972, my dad died. My mother, he died at 3:30 in the afternoon.
It's like the same thing.
And she sold the farm. I was born and raised on a farm in Iowa, 3rd generation. Mm-hmm. And she was determined to sell that farm within at 7 o'clock in the afternoon.
Going anywhere?
Just talk long enough for Anthony to get his sounds ready.
Yeah. I tried my Back to the Future thing. When the hell did this happen? Tried that. It
keep going,
fire.
Diesel Dan. No, we're really interested. Go, keep going.
Yeah,
the farm,
Diesel Dan.
You grew up on the farm, and your mom.
Yeah, she sold the goddamn farm. He died at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh.
7 o'clock, she sold the farm. I was a 3rd generation.
Stop whining.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved farming. Now I'm a fucking truck driver.
No,
I've driving these goddamn trucks since 1973. 4 million miles.
Yeah.
She died, and Danny, all I got is she died in 02,
Yeah.
03 or 4, and I could give a flying fuck.
Ah.
She'd been a pain in my
God, I wish there was a point there somewhere.
There
was only a point.
I'm so glad you called in tonight. It's the guys like you, it's the callers like you that make this show happen. It's like PBS.
You know what? Fucking women shouldn't have been allowed to vote. Ever since we let them sons of bitches vote, they've been nothing but a fuking problem.
Okay, you turn me. Now I'm starting to like
right. Now I'm kind of digging them.
Ever since we allowed them sons of bitches to vote, they think they're smarter than we are. You have no say-so.
You're a bitter man.
You be barefoot and pregnant and only allowed to give fucking head.
Well, Diesel Dan, you make some good points, and there's some points I don't agree with you with, but thanks for calling, and I'm glad you're listening. Kyle, Louisiana, what's up, bro?
I just wanted to ask, you guys are drinking and shit. Who brought in the beer? Danny's mom's boyfriend?
Hey!
Oh,
come on!
Don't talk about his mom like Danny could talk about his mom, but don't talk about his mom like that.
Look, just because I hate my mom doesn't mean that you have to too, okay?
I have a little story about my mom when she hooked up with Sal. You know Sal?
Oh.
Sal's from
Christmas
Baltimore.
Shoes Row.
Christmas Shoes Row. Well, when they hooked up, way back when, goddamn, they've been together probably twice as long as my dad was with my mom. 20 years or something like that, 25 maybe. And when they first hooked up, Sal used to come over the house, and my brother couldn't stand him. So my brother came at Sal once with a baseball bat when he came to the front door, and that whole scene had to be dealt with. And after it was dealt with, my mother and Sal went into the room, and then we heard these horrid noises of my mom sounding like she was in terrible pain. We didn't know it was pleasure. And my brother banged on the wall and yelled, "Knock it off!" How quick does your boner deflate when your girl's kid is yelling "knock it off" and banging on the wall?
See, I never, and I swear, as long as we lived in very close quarters with me and my father and my mother, I never really caught them fucking.
No.
I would just catch all the after effects of them fucking. Like, I would try to, root through my dad's drawers for, leftover weed and,
I thought you meant rubbers.
No, shake. Just shake. And I'd open up a drawer and there'd be, empty condom wrappers. And, one time...
Squeeze a rubber out like space food.
A friend of mine went into one of my dad's drawers looking for a shake. And he's like, "What the hell is this?" And I look at it. He had pulled out a cock ring.
Oh, no, your dad's cock ring? Oh.
And then I remember this other time, I lived in an apartment building as a kid, and it was not a huge building, but it had an elevator, and we were in the elevator. It was me, my mother, and my father, and my dad turned to my mom and said something like, you're the 2-0 chick or some shit like that. And like, I was old enough to know what that meant.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ew. Like, all right, so now I'm picturing like my mom making my dad making my mom come twice. And I'm like, ugh. But I never caught him doing it, so I guess that's a good thing.
I never caught my mom and my dad doing anything, or even heard anything, except for him yelling at her and throwing spaghetti against the wall and probably punching her.
every time that you tell that spaghetti wall story, I'll never forget. I had a very, very similar story, and I don't really remember what it was about. I just think my mom was spending money, and like she had put my dad on a budget. A budget? Yeah, and like an allowance, like he was a child.
Dads don't like budgets.
And it was his, they made pretty much the same money for a while, so he wasn't happy with that, and I think something came from Frederick's of Hollywood, Frederick's of Hollywood, or something like that.
Like, you put me on a budget and you're buying this fucking shit.
He had a fucking bag. Like, dude, I need cigarettes tomorrow, and like she would have a problem with that. And her fur coats and all her garbage, and something else came in the mail. And we had ordered pizza that night or whatever.
Oh no!
And I think I was the catalyst for all this, because he's like looking at me. Did something come today? I was like, well, something came. And then next thing I know, it's just like it's like a quarter pie was just in his hand. Bam! Right against the wall, and it was exactly how you describe it, except
it's
instead
slow
of pasta,
motion.
dude, instead of pasta, it was just pizza, and it just slowly crawled down the wall.
Every little fucking inch it moves, it's ingrained in your memory.
Yeah, and well, what else didn't help was that
fucking you up.
There was still like fucking like tomato sauce splatter like 6 inches away that no one had like seen and cleaned up. So like I would just, every time at dinner, I was kind of like glance over and look at it and be like, oh yeah, they hate each other.
The pizza incident.
Yeah, this is a phony marriage. My dad's all cuckold. He can't spend his own money, and I'm the product of their love.
Well, parents will just fuck you up. And I used to be like, I was such a horny fucking little kid. Like I would spank it all the time. And this was horrible because it's almost incestuous. On two counts. Yeah, I fucked with the shit out of my mom. No, here's one they'll save. I was rummaging through the drawers in my parents' room, and I found not a dildo vibrator. It wasn't a dildo vibrator. It was this very square-looking, with almost this suction cup thing that went on it, and there were different attachments, but it had nothing to do with like a dildo, but it vibrated, and I knew it was my mother's, but I so wanted to feel something vibrating on my little cock. No! So I took it out, I rubbed it down with rubbing alcohol, thinking that would take away the taboo-ness of it, and I fucking just sprawled out on my bed and used it on myself, and then cleaned it off and put it back. And while you're horny before you fucking come, you're so into it, like, oh my god, this fucking feels great. And then the second I shot, I was like, I used my mother's vibrator to fucking jerk off.
Instant guilt.
I felt such a fucking piece of shit.
Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
And obviously, it stuck with me because I still remember it.
Oh. Dude.
And then the other time, the second quick one was with my dad, but this wasn't very bad because it was like my stepmother. It wasn't even stepmother because we weren't married. It was my dad's girlfriend, and she was hot at the time. And I found naked Polaroids of her and jerked off to her.
I was
fucking
sorry.
sick as that.
Similar, I just can't talk about it. Somebody.
Those are my taboo stories.
Loose lips sink ships. Something like that.
Oh shit!
But there was a funny story with one of my ex-girlfriends. We had a dog, and
don't even go any further sexually with the dog.
Well, no, you're thinking
Okay.
you're thinking way ahead.
Peanut butter.
No, you're thinking way ahead.
Yeah,
And,
sure am. It's hot.
The basement of the house was always a topic of conversation. What should we do with it? Should it just be storage? Should it just be kind of livable area? Blah, blah. So one day, it was decided that everybody was going to try and like clean up the basement and get everything, in its place and everything in its place. And during this during this time, because it lasted, it wasn't just like a day or two, like it went on for weeks and weeks. The dog had a new toy.
Oh, no.
And we were just like, what in the fuck is the dog running around with? And so we grab it from the dog, and wouldn't you know, it was Dodo. But wait.
Oh, God.
Wait a minute.
How embarrassing.
Do you really think that there was one side to this dildo?
No, double tongue.
It was a double-sided dildo.
There's a purpose for getting those, by the way.
Yeah,
There's
and
a
it was my
purpose.
ex's mom.
Wow.
And it was like, well, I'm sure she wasn't using that with dear old dad.
No.
And if she...
You gotta hope she wasn't.
And if she wasn't a dyke, which we all know that she's not, then some folding had to have taken place.
Yeah. Was it a little bent in the middle?
Well, you know, there might have been a crink or two.
Couldn't she